Welcome to Vegan Leather Day, everybody. I am the Director of Success, Chris Racana, and I am in the Dr. Beasley's clean room today to talk about the how, the what, the where, the why of this proliferating material. You see, I'm very familiar with vegan leather amongst many other of its names that it's known by from the furniture industry, where I spent better than 3 decades. Now we're seeing this kind of transition over into fashion as well as the automotive industry. So this is why we feel it's necessary to do a deep dive on vegan leather. In addition to my nearly 3 decades experience with vegan leather, Dr. Beasley's also has decades-long experience dealing with vegan leathers because of our expertise with the Teslas. Now, before we start diving too deep into the subject matter, I do want to remind you of one thing, folks. Actually, 2 things. First, smash that subscribe button, and while you're there, you know what? Tickle that notification bell so that way you can be notified every time we drop a new video on the Dr. Beasley's YouTube page. What is vegan leather? In the broader sense of the definition, it is a non-animal alternative to leather. Back in the 50s and 60s, this is something that we would have called pleather, which is basically vinyl. Then we progressed into faux leather and leatherette into the 80s, and then into the 90s and early aughts, we had alternative leathers and synthetic leathers. And then to the point where, I was selling in the furniture industry, very high-end Italian imported eco leather furniture. So we're talking lines like Minotti, B&B Italia, Caligaris, Catalan Italia. These are all higher end brands that were utilizing eco leathers in their high fashion furniture lines. And if we're talking about non-animal alternatives to leather, this is also going to include materials like Alcantara and Dinamica, as well as Ultra Suede. In terms of this video though, we're not really worried about the Alcantara, the Dinamica, and the Ultra Suedes because those are synthetic suedes. What we're dealing with really is synthetic pelle, synthetic leather, that beautiful, smooth, soft, supple hand with that lovely graining. That's what we're talking about today in vegan leather.
Now, there are 2 types of vegan leather. There's synthetic and organic vegan leather. Now, synthetic vegan leather is much more common in what we're used to, especially in the likes of Teslas. Synthetic leather is a petroleum-derived material that is meant to resemble real leather. Polyurethane, or PU, is going to be the most common form of synthetic leather, and exactly what I am sitting in inside this Tesla Model X. It's a mixture of plastic chemicals and petroleum compounds made by adding adhesive to polyester fabrics. With a polyurethane top coat, you're basically able to mold it so you can basically emboss whatever pattern you want in it to get it to look however you want. And that's how we're able to get synthetic leather to look like real leather. Which brings me to a point. How do you tell the difference between real and synthetic leather? One of the easiest ways to do is just look for the consistency of the graining pattern. Because the fact is, if it's synthetic leather, they're embossing the grain pattern out, so it's gonna be very consistent. If you're looking at real hide leather, the belly on an animal is very smooth. The shoulders and the elbows are gonna have a lot of heavy graining to them. So if I'm looking for real hide leather in a car, I'm looking for the grain pattern to be different in this piece of leather than it is in this piece of leather than it is in this piece of leather. But if it's exactly uniform and the same, chances are it's synthetic. Now, the alternative to synthetic leather is organic vegan leathers. These are leathers that are utilizing organic materials like fruits and vegetables in the production of this upholstery textile. This is super friendly for the environment as we are using obviously renewable resources, and typically these materials are going to be biodegradable. Many praise the organics as being true vegan leathers as they bring no harm to animals or the environment. Unfortunately, these organic vegan leather textiles are more expensive right now, and in many cases as expensive as real hide leather. But remember folks, in the end, whether it's organic or synthetic vegan leather, in the end, it's a textile that's more closely related to the fabric on the lounge chair in your home than it is to a hide off of an animal.
Here are some examples of actual organic vegan leather materials and where we're using plant-based material. So there's Muskin. What can we guess what this is made out of? Muskin is made from mushrooms. And then we have Pinatext. Any guesses what we got there? That's right, we got pineapple leather with that one there, folks. Do you really even need to guess what we're doing for grape leather? How about cork leather? I think what we're doing for cork leather. Now maybe I'm gonna throw you for a loop on this one. What about bamboo leather? That's right, that is bamboo. And then Desertex is actually an interesting material. It's one that's really kind of picking up traction, specifically with BMW. So this is a Mexican-based company that is using cactus leaves in their production of their organic vegan leather. So this is just kind of a sampling of what's out there and available when it comes to organic leathers. Now, a couple of things to keep in mind. This is a developing technology. These are more often than not a hybrid textile that has both organic elements and non-organic elements. Also, price, anytime we got new technology, a lot of these materials can be just as expensive as real deal leather. But the hope is, as technology progresses, we'll be able to find leathers that are closer to 100% organic plant-based, and that will have the same durability as leather with a more moderate cost.
Now the more existential question, why vegan leather or real hide leather? And to really answer that question, we have to look at what they have in common and what's different. Let's first explore what vegan and real leather have in common. Well, you get what you pay for. Higher quality is going to be more expensive. It's just the way of the world. So that's the way it works with both real leather as well as vegan leathers. Also, there are different grades available. Of course, with real hide leather, you have several different grades. You have split, you have full, top grain, semi-aniline, full aniline, and there's also, varying grades of leather, different degrees of softness, thickness, and that sort of thing. Well, you're gonna find that same kind of availability with vegan leathers. There are gonna be several different grades, thicknesses, and properties that are available. Again, all those kind of attributes are gonna affect the price of that product as well. Also, with vegan leather, you're gonna get that same kind of graining. Now, with a real hide leather, that graining is gonna be much more inconsistent versus a vegan leather where the grain pattern is embossed. So while you're both gonna have graining, it is going to be a bit more inconsistent with real leather versus very consistent and basically repetitious with a vegan leather. Now, to most of the public, vegan leather and real hide leather is nearly indistinguishable. For myself, I have a lot of experience in this realm, and there are certain things you can look for. As I just alluded to, you can look at the graining, anything with, that might have a little bit heavier graining here, a little bit smoother graining on this, that's going to tell me that's likely a natural hide leather versus something that is exactly identical from one panel to the next, this leather panel to this leather panel to this leather panel, exactly the same. That leads me to believe that that has been embossed and likely a synthetic. However, there is one thing that you can never fake, and that is the touch. You cannot fake the natural, soft, supple hand of leather. They're close, folks. But you know what? It just doesn't feel like the real deal to me. Again, 90% of people out there probably don't even know the difference, but myself with my background, I can give it the eye test, but it's really the feel test that's gonna tell me, is this real leather or is this a synthetic leather? Now, there are certainly many differences between real hide leather and vegan leather. Of course, the headline is real hide leather. These are hides that came off of animals. Vegan leather did not come anywhere near an animal. This either came from a petroleum-based textile or potentially an organic material. Generally, vegan leathers are going to be thinner than hide leathers. So this obviously is going to affect durability. And so your long-term durability with leather is generally going to be greater than your vegan leather just because of the thickness. Also, vegan leather tends to scuff easier than real hide leather. So in that sense, it may take a little bit of extra maintenance in cleaning or protection than a real hide leather would. There's also the issue of breathability. Now, obviously, real hide leather, having come from an animal, is naturally porous. A PU is also a porous material, but much less so than a real hide leather. So breathability is actually better with real leather than it is a vegan leather. A benefit, though, of having a less porous material is it is less apt to absorbing and staining. Real hide leather, being a more porous material, is more susceptible to staining. Vegan leather, being a less porous material, is less likely, less apt to be stained. Lastly, cost. Many vegan leathers and synthetic leathers are just going to be less expensive than a real hide leather, so that can be a factor as well.
Who uses vegan leather? Well, in the automotive realm, Tesla leads the way with their mass market Model 3. However, there's several other manufacturers out there that are utilizing vegan leathers. I mean, I know Bentley back in 2019 actually did a concept model with grape leather in it. But then you have BMW, they're using their cactus leaves, and you got Land Rover, they're using their eucalyptus melanage. Volvo, they're going full tilt into this thing with their leather-free and fully electric by 2030 claim. And then you have the Blue Oval, folks. Ford has their Active X seating material that they use in their Mustang Mach-E's. And of course, there is Toyota with their Softex material that they use in several of their vehicles. And again, folks, this is not limited to just the automotive realm. We are seeing this material proliferate in fashion as well as for the home too, and even in the contract world. As you know, I come from the furniture world, so you're seeing high-end design houses like Knoll or Herman Miller that are bringing in these materials not only for residential use, but for contract use as well. So this is something that is here to stay. So it's vegan leather and real leather. They're gonna have to cohabitate, folks. The fact is, vegan leather is the reality these days. It must be recognized as a unique category of upholstery that needs specialized products to clean, condition, and protect. However, there will always be a place for real hide leather, because the fact is, cows are not raised for their hides. Cattle is raised for their meat, and the leather industry, the hide industry, is all secondary. So again, there is always going to be leather out there, but now we're going to have to recognize that there's leather and vegan leather. Ideally, more and more plant-based vegan leathers will be developed. So this way, not only can we move away from animal-derived textiles, but we can, more importantly, move away from petroleum-derived textiles as well. In the end, Dr. Beasley's will continue to service both new technology vegan leathers as well as traditional hide leathers. So what are your thoughts on this semi-controversial subject of vegan leather versus real hide leather versus plant-based vegan leather versus petroleum-based vegan leather? Let us know. We'd love to see your comments down below. As always, thank you so much for everyone for joining us for this vegan leather discussion on the Dr. Beasley's YouTube channel. Please do remember to go ahead and smash the subscribe button and tickle that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video on the Dr. Beasley's YouTube page. One last thing, folks, I do want to ask you for a favor. If you are driving in the left lane and you're not passing anyone, it is time to move over to the right, because it is left lane for passing, middle lane for cruising, and right lane for entering and exiting the expressway. Thanks so much, everybody. Drive safely.